Let me warn you before we begin. What I'm about to tell you isn't soft. It isn't comfortable. And once you hear this, you won't be able to unsee it in the women around you. Because a woman rarely says the truth out loud when she's just been intimate with another man. But her behavior, her energy, her micro-expressions, they reveal everything. Not because she wants to tell you, but because human psychology tells on her anyway. So listen carefully. There comes a moment, often subtle, often quiet, when a woman returns to you after being with someone else. And even if she tries to act normal, you can feel something off. Her face looks familiar, but the vibe, the energy, the emotional frequency, is different. Your mind tries to ignore it. You tell yourself, no, she wouldn't do that.
I'm overthinking.
But your instincts whisper back, something changed, and they're right. Because when a woman crosses that line physically with another man, her psychology switches in ways she cannot hide, no matter how good she thinks she is at pretending. Let's start with the first shift, the one most men sense but can't explain. When she has been intimate with someone else, she becomes emotionally distant with you in a way that's sudden, sharp, and unnatural. Not the slow drift you feel during regular relationship problems. No, this distance appears overnight. One day, she's texting you fast, smiling at your messages, talking normally, laughing with you, and the next day, it's like you're talking to a different person wearing her face. Her replies become shorter. Her tone gets colder. Her interest evaporates, not gradually but instantly. You try to revive the connection. Ask her how her day was. Send something sweet, maybe even a call. But nothing works. You're trying to reach the woman you knew yesterday, and the woman responding today is emotionally somewhere else. Why? Because her emotional investment just shifted to another man. Sometimes for chemistry, sometimes for validation, sometimes because she simply wanted the thrill. But once that emotional bonding moment happens, her brain disconnects from you to attach to the other person. You feel it as sudden coldness. She feels it as, I don't know why, I just don't feel it anymore. Now here's the part most men never understand. She will not confront you about this distance. She will not explain it. She may not even admit it to herself. She'll just pull away, slowly on the surface, but instantly in her mind. That's why you feel confusion, because her emotional switch flipped in a moment you never saw. But this next shift, this is the one that truly exposes her. Listen carefully. When a woman has been intimate with another man, she suddenly becomes more protective of her phone, her privacy, her space, far more than usual. And it happens instantly. Her phone that was once unlocked around you, now stays face down. Notifications that used to pop up freely, suddenly disappear. She takes her phone with her everywhere, even to the bathroom. She's not doing this because she's planning to cheat. She already did. This is the guilt phase, the hiding phase, the I hope he doesn't see anything that breaks my cover phase. And you'll notice something else. She becomes strangely avoidant of any romantic or sexual closeness with you. Not because she doesn't want you, but because being with you right after being with someone else creates guilt. And guilt makes her withdraw physically. Her hugs feel less tight. Her kisses feel distracted. And if you try to initiate anything intimate, she may pull back, make an excuse, or act like she's not in the mood. Most men take this personally. They think they're doing something wrong. They try harder to reconnect, which ironically pushes her even further away. But what they don't realize is, she isn't avoiding intimacy with you because she's tired. She's avoiding it because she already shared intimacy with someone else. And her mind, her hormones, her emotions are still bonded to that moment. Oxytocin, the bonding chemical, works differently in women. It ties their emotions to the person they were last vulnerable with. So after she's been with someone else, being close to you feels wrong. Her body language rejects you before her words do. But the next shift, this one hits even harder. She becomes unusually irritated by you, over the smallest things. Things she normally ignored, now annoy her. Things she used to smile at, Now bother her. Your presence itself makes her restless. You ask a simple question, and she snaps. You try to joke, and she rolls her eyes. You show affection, and she pulls away. Why? Because her brain is reassigning emotional loyalty. She's comparing you to the man she was just with. And comparison always leads to resentment. She doesn't realize she's doing it. It's subconscious. But her attitude exposes what her words never will. Now here's the darkest shift of all. She suddenly becomes extra nice to you in certain moments. Not out of love, but out of guilt. A random compliment. A sudden kind gesture. A warm message out of nowhere. But the energy feels wrong. Feels forced. It feels like she's trying to balance something inside her. This is the guilt compensation phase. She does something kind, not because she loves you, but because she feels she betrayed you. Her mind is trying to reduce her own guilt. This sudden, inconsistent kindness is one of the strongest psychological indicators that she crossed a line she isn't admitting. But we're only halfway through, because the truth gets darker. There are more behaviors, more micro changes, that a man must know, for his sanity, his clarity, and his future. Here's the part nobody prepares men for. Once a woman crosses that line, her behavior doesn't just change toward you. It changes toward herself. She becomes restless, uneasy, nervous in her own skin. She'll pace around. She'll fidget. She'll act distracted, not because you did something wrong, but because her brain is battling two selves. The version of her before she crossed the line, and the version of her after. The guilt makes her unpredictable. Her mood swings become sharper. She goes from cold to distant to strangely kind, then back to cold again. You don't know which version of her you'll get. Neither does she. And this emotional chaos reveals the next shift. The one that breaks most men. She suddenly becomes extremely defensive. She'll snap at innocent questions. She'll accuse you of acting weird. She'll twist simple conversations into arguments. And here's the painful truth. People who feel guilty often get angry at the person they betrayed. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your presence triggers their guilt. Her mind wants to blame someone, anyone, to avoid facing herself. So she projects. She might even flip the script. Accuse you of acting distant. Accuse you of losing interest. Accuse you of the very behavior she's been hiding. It's psychological misdirection. If she can make you feel confused, she feels safer. Because confusion keeps you from asking questions. But the next shift, this one exposes her in a way she can't control. Her routine changes suddenly, drastically, and without logic. She starts going out at odd times. She becomes busy with things she never cared about before. She starts hiding parts of her day, keeping conversations shallow, avoiding details. If she used to share everything with you, now she shares nothing. If she used to tell you where she was, now she gives vague answers. If she used to call you on her breaks, now she forgot. These changes aren't coincidences. They're rearrangements to adapt to the presence of someone new in her emotional world. Women don't multitask emotionally. They shift. They transfer. They attach to whoever feels emotionally relevant in the moment. And the moment another man enters that space, your position is no longer stable. But we're not done. There's a shift even deeper. One men almost never notice until it's too late. Her eyes change. Not dramatically. Not like in movies. More like a softness that disappears. A spark that used to be there is gone now. Because when a woman's emotions relocate, her eyes stop matching her words. She might still say she loves you. She might still say everything is fine. She might still play the role of the girlfriend, the partner, but her eyes betray her. They look past you, not at you, not into you. There's a distance in her gaze, like she's physically present, but mentally someplace else. And she is. Women bond through emotional vulnerability. If she shared that with someone else, someone new, her eyes will always reveal it. But the final shift, this one is the most painful. She stops planning the future with you. Conversations about tomorrow, next week, next month, become vague, empty, or avoided altogether. She stops talking about trips, stops mentioning goals, stops imagining shared experiences. Why? Because she's already imagining them with someone else. Not fully, not consciously, but her emotional future has begun to drift away from yours. Even if she stays with you physically, her mind is already gone. And this, right here, is the truth most men never accept. When a woman is intimate with another man, the betrayal isn't just physical. It's emotional, psychological, chemical, hormonal. Her bond shifts, her loyalty shifts, her heart shifts, and once that shift happens, you can feel it in every conversation, every pause, every silence, every touch that no longer feels like home. So let me say something every man deserves to hear. You are not crazy. You are not insecure. You are not imagining things. Your instincts are speaking, and they're speaking from a place of truth. Silence is a message. Distance is a message. Coldness is a message. Irritation is a message. Avoidance is a message. But the biggest message of all? Her behavior always tells the story, before her words ever will. And if you're watching this right now, it's because a part of you already knows. Something shifted. Maybe she's not the same. Maybe her energy changed. Maybe you've been trying to understand. What happened? What triggered her switch? Why she pulled away so suddenly? This video, this message, is here to give you clarity. Not to hurt you, not to destroy your trust in women, but to protect you from blaming yourself for something that was never your fault. Listen carefully. When a woman suddenly pulls away, goes cold, or treats you differently overnight, it is never random. Human behavior always has a psychological root. And here's the hardest truth. Once she bonds with someone else emotionally or physically, there is no version of reality where she returns to who she was before. You can't fix it by texting more. You can't fix it by loving harder. You can't fix it by confronting her. You can't fix it by proving yourself. Because the switch wasn't caused by you, and it cannot be reversed by you. So what should you do? You walk away with dignity. You protect your mind. You protect your peace. You protect your value. You let the truth guide you, not the fantasy you wanted her to be. And understand this, sometimes the coldest silence is the loudest truth, and sometimes the greatest closure is finally seeing someone for who they really are. Before we end, let me leave you with a question that only you can answer. Are you holding on to her, or are you holding on to who she used to be? If this hit you, if this opened your eyes, if this finally made sense of the silence, don't forget to subscribe, because the next video might be the one that gives you the clarity you didn't even know you needed.